Thank you, Ian. Very nice, I'm sure. But we've already established that Richard here, well, you're after something that oozes class, sophistication, quality. And I reckon we might have found a winner for you. I don't know what you think yet, but a Jaguar XJ8. Let's try it. And so finally, the Jaguar XJ8. And Richard, I don't know why, but I have a good feeling about this car for you. Why might that be?
It feels like I've come home in here. I think it's just that it is a full-on supercar. It doesn't make any apologies about what it is. It's a big V8 limousine.
This is where your LPG will come in, of course.
I certainly wouldn't think about buying this vehicle without putting an LPG tank into it. And that's really where we start to run into difficulty with this vehicle. The boot is very large but very shallow, and you couldn't actually mount a tank directly into the boot. This is a car which you buy with your heart, and it's a heart which is going 110 beats a minute in this sort of vehicle.
Methinks he might like this one.
And I could see why, because I like this car too. I mean, it's a real man's car, isn't it? There's no middle ground with Jaguars. You either love them or you hate them. I like them. My wife hates them. So there. It's a real sense of occasion car as well, whether you're just nipping around to the shops for a paper and a pint of milk or going on a grand journey. It has a very regal sense of occasion with a beautifully crafted interior, as you'll see. It's a smart car and it's huge too. Wow, what a sumptuous interior. I just love these big Jaguar XJ saloons with masses of wood and leather and all the kits that you could possibly want. And it's very comfortable too, although maybe one of the downsides about these big XJ saloons is that for such a big car, they are a little cramped in the back seat for the rear passengers. But you get all the kit on it too. You've got a fantastic stereo system here, wonderful. Climate control system, standard, traction control, and of course an automatic gearbox, which is a must on a Jag. These are just wonderful. Now I can stand here all day waxing lyrical about how wonderful this car is and how fantastic it is to drive, but the key thing for you, Richard, is to find out how it'll work with the LPG conversion. Well, as you can see, the boot on the XJ saloon is actually quite big. I mean, it's quite wide, but the difficulty with this car is that it's fairly shallow. So that's going to cause a problem putting a tank in there. I mean, if you put it there, it's going to take up all the room. It's not going to work. So I think the thing to do is to look in here where the spare wheel is, get rid of that, put the donut tank in there, and that will solve your problems. Fantastic. But do you really want to convert a V8 Jaguar into LPG? Isn't that sacrilege? If it was me, a herd of wild horses wouldn't make me convert this car to LPG, and neither would most of my mates down the pub either. But I can see why you want to do it. You're not worried about depreciation. You're not worried about having to sell the car on in 3 years' time. You will lose a bit of power when you convert this V8 engine, but there's enough there anyway.